There comes a moment in life when you realize that running from the past no longer works. You've tried to forget, to bury it, to pretend it never happened. But the truth always finds a way to rise again. 16th of October is not just a date, it is a quiet turning point, a day that whispers to your soul, it's time to accept what has been, not to justify it, not to relive it, but to accept that it existed and it shaped you. This is the beginning of healing. Acceptance is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. To look at the pain you once ran from and say, I see you, is an act of courage. When you accept your scars, you stop being a victim of them. You stop letting them define your future. 16th October stands as a reminder that peace begins the moment you stop fighting what already happened. You don't need to keep reopening old wounds just to prove you survived. You already did. For years, you might have carried the weight of guilt, regret, or betrayal. You might have tried to rewrite your story to undo what was done. But life does not ask you to erase, it asks you to evolve. Acceptance is not erasing the past. It's washing away the poison you've been feeding your mind. The pain that once broke you does not have to control you anymore. 16th of October teaches you that by accepting, you create space for something new, calm, light, and unshakable inner strength. When you accept the pain, something inside you shifts. The storm loses its power. You start seeing the lesson hidden beneath the chaos. You begin to understand that everything that hurt you was also teaching you resilience, patience, and clarity. The anger softens, the fear dissolves. 16th of October becomes the day when you finally stop asking, why me? And start realizing it was for me. The past was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you. This acceptance is not dramatic. It is gentle. It comes quietly like a soft wave washing the shore after a long storm. And you are not the body. You wake up one morning and realize the pain doesn't sting the same way anymore. That's when you know you've accepted, you've grown, you've become lighter. And this transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened through every small moment you chose peace over resistance. 16th of October represents those silent victories, the ones no one sees but you. Self-growth begins when you stop arguing with life. You stop saying, it shouldn't have happened. You start saying, it did happen, and I'm still here. Acceptance gives birth to wisdom. You start recognizing patterns, understanding your emotions, and choosing better for yourself. Every moment of acceptance is like taking a step out of the shadows. The pain that once controlled you becomes your teacher. 16th of October becomes a symbol of inner maturity, the day you stopped fighting reality and started building from it. There's something powerful in not needing to fix the past anymore. When you reach that point, your energy shifts from survival to creation. You start focusing on what you can build now. You start showing up differently. You breathe deeper, walk calmer, and speak softer. This is what happens when acceptance takes root. It washes away tension, fear, and resistance. Like a river clearing the mud, it brings clarity. 16th October whispers, let go and let peace find you. Every scar carries a story, and those stories are not curses. They are the map of your evolution. Acceptance allows you to read that map clearly. You begin to see how every pain, every fall, and every disappointment guided you here to this version of yourself that understands the true value of stillness and surrender. You no longer chase healing, you become it. 16th of October is the day you stop running and start listening to your own silence, to your own breath, to your own truth. There's no need for perfection. Acceptance is messy, human, and real. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about understanding that even in your brokenness, you are whole. You can feel pain and still move forward. You can grieve and still grow. This is what 16th October stands for. The gentle balance between letting go and moving on. When you fully accept the past, you reclaim your power. You stop giving control to what no longer exists. You stop replaying the same story and start writing a new one. 16th October becomes that blank page. The moment you realize you are not your past, you are your potential. and your potential begins with peace. Acceptance doesn't happen in a single breath. It's a process, a quiet daily decision to stop resisting what you can't change. You might fall back into memories sometimes, but you'll know how to return, how to breathe, how to release, how to rise again. This is growth. This is freedom. This is the message of 16th October. The past no longer defines you. It only reminds you how far you've come. When you truly accept, the pain loses its hold. You don't forget it, but it stops controlling your present. You start living again. Not in the shadow of what was, but in the light of what can be. 16th of October stands as that sacred bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. The moment you stop fighting, you start healing. The moment you accept, you are reborn. And from that day on, life flows differently, quieter, deeper, freer. There are moments in life when you must face the truth that no matter how much you wish, you cannot rewrite the past. The pain that once happened cannot be undone. The words that were spoken cannot be taken back. The choices that were made are already written in the pages of time. 16th October stands as a reminder of this truth, a day to finally stop fighting what is gone and to begin freeing yourself from the chains of what cannot be changed. The past has already done its work. Now it's time for you to do yours, to let go. Letting go is not forgetting. It's understanding that holding on serves no purpose anymore. When you replay old memories again and again, you feed pain with your attention. You keep it alive. But when you turn your focus toward this very moment, when you start seeing the beauty in what is left rather than what was lost, something begins to shift. 16th October calls you to that shift, a quiet awakening where you realize that your peace matters more than your story. You no longer need to rewrite anything. You just need to live differently. Every time you revisit your old mistakes, every time you wish you had done things another way, you drain the energy that could be creating your new life. That the past does not deserve your daily energy. It has already taken enough. The only thing you owe it now is gratitude for the lessons it left behind. 16th of October teaches this. Your future does not begin when the past changes, it begins when you change. That moment when you stop saying, if only, and start saying from now on. It's human to wish things were different, but it's powerful to move on despite them not being so. There's a kind of quiet strength that comes from looking at your story and saying, it happened and I'm still standing. That is the voice of freedom. That is the voice that 16th of October wants you to hear within yourself, calm, unshaken, and ready to move forward. Because growth begins not with fixing the past, but by refusing to let it control you any longer. Sometimes you will be tempted to reopen old wounds, hoping to find closure. But closure doesn't come from the past, it comes from your decision to stop needing it. The mind loves to hold on to people, to pain, to the idea that things could have been different. But life doesn't wait for your permission to move on. It keeps flowing. And so should you. 16th October is not about revenge, not about regret, but about release. A soft, clear release that makes space for something pure. Peace. When you let go of what you cannot rewrite, you create space for what's meant to arrive. The moment you loosen your grip on what was, the present begins to bloom again. You start noticing small things, the sound of the wind, the way the light enters the room, the calmness in your own breathing. You realize that peace is not something you find in the future, it's something you allow in the present. 16th October stands for that permission, the permission to breathe again, to stop chasing, and to simply be. The mind loves control, but healing begins when you realize you don't need to control everything. You don't need to understand every ending. You don't need to justify every pain. Sometimes life's meaning is revealed only after you stop forcing it. When you release what you can't rewrite, you begin to trust that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. This is the message 16th October carries, a message of surrender, not in weakness, but in wisdom. You see, the past is not your enemy. It's a mirror. It reflects the lessons you needed to learn to become who you are today. But the mistake most people make is standing too long in front of that mirror, staring at what was, instead of walking forward into what can be. 16th of October is the moment to turn away from that reflection and step fully into the present. You are not who you were back then. You've grown, you've survived, you've evolved. The only thing left is to live like it. There's a strange peace that comes when you no longer fight with time. You start accepting that every chapter, even the painful ones, had its purpose. You stop wishing for different endings because you start seeing the wisdom in how things unfolded. Maybe the pain was never meant to break you, only to open your eyes. Maybe the loss was not punishment, but preparation. 16th of October marks this clarity, the realization that you do not heal by rewriting your story, you heal by outgrowing it. You begin to understand that your life moves forward only when you do. The moment you stop dragging your past with you, the air becomes lighter, the path becomes clearer, and your heart beats calmer. You start walking again, not as someone trying to escape, but as someone who has accepted. That is the power of 16th October. It's not a loud transformation. It's quiet, gentle, but it changes everything. Let go of what cannot be rewritten. The apology that never came, the relationship that ended, the chance that slipped away. Let it all return to the past where it belongs. You are not meant to fix what is gone. You are meant to grow beyond it. The energy you once used to mourn what was lost will become the strength that builds what's next. That's how you start over, not by rewriting, but by recreating. So on the 16th of October, stand still for a moment, breathe deeply, feel how the weight of yesterday slowly loosens its grip. Understand that your story is not over just because one chapter ended painfully. It's just beginning again in a new tone with a new rhythm. The pen is in your hand now, not to rewrite the past, but to write the rest. Let go, walk on. And let this day be the quiet line between what you once were and who you're finally becoming. There comes a time when noise becomes too heavy to carry. The noise of thoughts, the noise of doubts, the noise of memories that never seem to fade. You move through each day surrounded by it, and without realizing, you start to lose yourself within that constant echo. 16th October arrives like a silent teacher, not with more words, not with more effort, but with a single truth. Stillness cleanses the mind. When you stop chasing, stop arguing, stop trying to control everything, the fog begins to lift. The quiet starts to heal you in ways noise never could. The world has taught you to keep running, to fill every silence with movement, to chase something at every moment: success, love, recognition, peace. But peace doesn't come from chasing, it comes from stopping. 16th October asks you to pause, to listen to the quiet space that has always been within you. Beneath the thoughts, beneath the tension, there is a still point, a space untouched by pain or fear. When you enter that space, you see clearly again. You feel clean again. You return to yourself. Stillness is not laziness. It is not escape. It is a form of power that most people never discover because they are afraid of what they'll hear in the silence. But silence doesn't punish you. It reveals you. It shows you what you've been avoiding, what you've been holding, what you've been running from. 16th of October comes as the day you stop running and finally stand in that stillness, strong, aware, awake. You realize that the mind was never your enemy. It was just too full to listen. When you become still, the emotions you've been carrying begin to rise. The pain, the regret, the anger, all of it surfaces, and that's okay. Let it, don't fight it. 16th October is not about hiding your feelings, it's about watching them pass. Like clouds in the sky, they come, they move, they go. You realize that you don't have to be controlled by what you feel. You can observe it, breathe through it, and remain calm inside it. This is where real strength is born, not from resistance, but from awareness. Stillness teaches you the art of observation. You begin to notice how your thoughts move, how your fears speak, how your body reacts. You see how much of your suffering was created not by what happened, but by how long you held onto it. 16th October becomes the day you see clearly, the day you realize that calmness is not something you wait for. It's something you create by stopping the war inside. When you stop reacting to everything, you begin to understand yourself deeply. You realize that clarity doesn't come through effort, but through emptiness. Like muddy water settling at the bottom of a jar. Your mind becomes clear when you allow it to rest. That is what 16th of October symbolizes. A cleansing, a quiet purification of the inner world. You no longer need to fight for answers. They begin to appear naturally, quietly, when you are still enough to receive them. In stillness, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, the heart opens. You begin to feel the simplicity of being alive, not doing, not proving, just being. That simplicity is sacred. It's the doorway to peace that was always available but often ignored. 16th of October reminds you that life is not something to conquer, it's something to align with, and that alignment starts when the mind becomes quiet enough to listen to the rhythm of existence itself. There is a kind of purity in silence that words cannot touch. It washes through you, clearing away what doesn't belong. The overthinking, the comparisons, the fear of what others think, it brings you back to what is real, to your breath, to your heartbeat, to this moment. 16th October carries that message softly but powerfully. Be here now. Don't rush, don't escape. Just be fully in this single breath. That is enough. You will notice that when your mind is still, even pain feels different. It no longer consumes you. It becomes something you can observe from a distance. You see that suffering is not permanent, that thoughts lose power when you don't feed them. This is the cleansing power of stillness, not to erase what happened, but to transform your relationship with it. 16th of October becomes the moment when pain turns into peace and confusion turns into clarity. With stillness comes freedom, freedom from reaction, from the chaos of the world, from the constant noise that keeps you distracted from yourself. You realize that the peace you were chasing outside was always waiting for you inside. You don't need anything external to feel whole. You only need to be present. This is the quiet truth that 16th of October holds, that the calm you seek is already within you, waiting beneath the noise. As you walk through this day, let it remind you that growth doesn't always happen in motion. Sometimes it happens in stillness, in that one moment where you stop, breathe, and simply allow life to unfold without resistance. 16th of October is that breath, that pause, that moment of surrender that turns confusion into understanding. So take this day as an invitation to slow down, to clear the mind, to let go of the need to control every outcome. Allow yourself to feel the silence that exists beyond all sound. In that silence, you will find something that no storm can touch, peace that belongs entirely to you. And as 16th October passes, you will notice something subtle but powerful. Your thoughts will be lighter, your heart calmer, your steps steadier. The world will look the same, but you will not, because stillness has washed you clean. You have learned to see without fear, to breathe without weight, and to walk without the noise of yesterday. That is how stillness cleanses the mind, not by changing the world around you, but by clearing the world within you. There is a moment when you realize that holding on to pain no longer gives you strength. It only keeps you trapped. You think by remembering what hurt you, you are protecting yourself. But in truth, you are only keeping the wound open. 16th October arrives as a quiet reminder that growth does not come from revenge, from proving something, or from carrying the past like armor. Growth comes from release, from putting the weight down, from saying, it happened, but it no longer controls me. This is the freedom that begins when you stop trying to fix others and start healing yourself. There is a deep misunderstanding in this world that to heal, you must be stronger than what broke you. But strength is not hardness, it's softness. It's the ability to bend without breaking. It's the courage to forgive when anger feels safer. On the 16th of October, Life teaches you that every time you choose peace over pain, you evolve. You grow not by proving your worth to anyone, but by understanding that your peace is worth more than your pride. Letting go of revenge is not weakness, it is self-respect. It means you are no longer willing to let someone else's actions dictate the direction of your energy. Every time you choose to fight what's already gone, you give away your power. But when you release it, when you stop needing closure, apology, or understanding, you reclaim that power. 16th October represents that turning point, the day you stop chasing validation and start valuing your inner calm. There is a sacred silence in forgiveness, not the kind that excuses what happened, but the kind that says, I refuse to carry this anymore. You see, holding grudges doesn't punish others. It poisons you. It keeps your heart tense, your thoughts restless, your sleep shallow. But when you let it go, truly let it go, the tension leaves your body, the storm settles. You feel light for the first time in years. That is what 16th October brings. The quiet cleansing of the heart through release. Growth requires that you stop asking life to be fair and start choosing to be free. The truth is, not everything will make sense. Not everyone will apologize. Not every ending will be gentle. But none of that can stop your evolution unless you allow it. 16th of October teaches you to walk away without bitterness, to smile at what once broke you, to say, thank you, this taught me who I am. You no longer carry resentment because you understand that resentment chains you to the same moment you're trying to escape. When you release what hurt you, you create room for new energy. The space once filled with anger becomes fertile with possibility. You start seeing beauty again, feeling inspiration again. You begin to reconnect with life as it is, not as it was. 16th of October is not just about forgiving others. It's about forgiving yourself for staying too long, for reacting too harshly, for not knowing better. Forgiveness is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. You can't grow while gripping the past. Your hands must be empty to receive what's new. This is the wisdom that 16th October brings, that letting go is not losing. It's making space for better things to arrive. You realize that the people who hurt you were not stopping your journey. They were shaping your strength. Every disappointment taught you something. Every loss purified your focus. What once felt like breaking was actually becoming. The ego wants revenge because it believes pain can be balanced by pain. But the spirit knows better. The spirit seeks peace, not proof. Revenge binds you to the same energy that hurt you, but release sets you free. 16th of October is the moment you understand this truth, that healing is not about looking back. It's about rising higher. You rise not to show anyone your power, but to feel the weight leave your chest. You rise because staying down no longer feels natural. As you release, you start to see life from a higher place. You notice that nothing truly lost was ever meant for you. You see that every ending had purpose, that every betrayal redirected you toward a greater understanding. The more you release, the lighter your path becomes. The more you forgive, the clearer your mind grows. And on the 16th October, you finally understand peace is not something the world gives. It's something you give to yourself. The art of growth is learning when to walk away. Walk away from the noise, from the endless explanations, from the need to be right. You stop arguing with people who no longer hear you. You stop explaining your value to those who can't see it. That silence becomes your power. 16th October represents that silence, not empty, but full of wisdom. It's the silence that says, I've learned enough here. When you let go, something extraordinary happens. You start to feel alive again. You stop living through the stories of pain and you begin to write new ones of peace. The energy that was once trapped in your wounds starts flowing into your dreams. That is how growth works. It's not an explosion. It's a quiet unfolding. 16th October becomes the gentle shift from surviving to living, from carrying the pain to carrying purpose. The lesson is simple yet profound: release or remain. You can't hold on and move forward at the same time. Life doesn't wait for the angry to calm down. It continues flowing. So flow with it. Let the old energy wash away. Let the past dissolve like dust in the rain. On the 16th October, make the decision to stop being defined by what hurt you and start being shaped by what you've learned. That is true freedom. That is self-growth. That is peace. And when the day ends, you'll feel it, that quiet shift inside, the breath that flows easier, the thoughts that move slower, the body that feels lighter. You'll know you've released. You'll know you've grown. Because 16th of October will no longer just be a day on the calendar. It will be the day you finally chose peace over pain, release over revenge, and freedom over fear. There comes a time when you realize that the only thing keeping you from peace is the weight of the past you refuse to put down. You can't change what's already behind you, and you can't control what hasn't yet come. The only real power you have is in this very moment. 16th October is the reminder that the present is not just a pause between yesterday and tomorrow. It is the only place where life truly exists. The past has no breath, the future has no certainty. But here, now, in this single breath, everything is alive, everything begins again. When you live in the present, you stop living as a prisoner of memory, you stop replaying the pain, the mistakes, the missed chances. You stop creating suffering out of what no longer exists. 16th October comes to wash the dust of yesterday from your mind, to wake you up to the truth that this moment is all you ever really have. Every breath you take is a new beginning, and every heartbeat is a chance to start again. The reason most people suffer is because they're never here. Their bodies live in today, but their minds are trapped in yesterday or running toward tomorrow. They wake up, but they don't live. They breathe, but they don't feel. 16th October is the day to return to yourself, to reclaim your awareness, to step fully into the now. Because peace isn't something that arrives, it's something that's already here, waiting for you to notice it. When you bring your attention to this moment, everything changes. The mind quiets down, the heart softens, the body relaxes. You begin to see how much of your pain came not from reality, but from stories you kept repeating in your head. 16th October teaches you to stop creating noise and start listening, to stop searching for meaning in the past and start living with meaning in the present. The peace you've been chasing was never far away. It was always hidden beneath the noise of your thoughts. There is a deep freedom in presence. When you are here, truly here, nothing can control you. The past loses its grip, fear loses its voice, time loses its power. You stop rushing and start feeling. You notice the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet strength of simply being alive. 16th October reminds you that the simplest things are the most sacred. The sound of the wind, the weight of silence, the stillness between thoughts. These are not small moments. These are life itself. To live in the present is not to ignore the past, but to stop letting it own you. It's to learn from it and move forward with wisdom, not with wounds. 16th October symbolizes that the step out of your history and into your life. It's the moment you stop waiting for the right time and realize that time is now. You don't heal by going backward. You heal by being fully awake right here, right now. Being present is a practice of awareness. It's not always easy. The mind will try to pull you away. It will whisper about regrets. It will worry about the future. But every time you return to the breath, every time you anchor yourself in this moment, you break free from illusion. You remember who you are beneath the noise. 16th October becomes a day of inner training, a day to strengthen your awareness, to discipline your attention, to master the art of being alive. The more you practice presence, the more peaceful life becomes. Problems still exist, but they no longer consume you. Emotions still rise, but they no longer drown you. You start moving through life like a river, flowing, adapting, clear. You stop resisting what is, and you start working with it. 16th October carries that teaching softly but powerfully. You don't need to escape the moment. You need to return to it. The more you are here, the less you suffer. There's something deeply beautiful about choosing to live now. You begin to see how time slows down when you're fully aware, how conversations become deeper, how food tastes richer, how silence becomes soothing instead of uncomfortable. Life stops rushing past you. You begin to participate in it. You begin to feel its texture, its rhythm, its depth. This is the gift of 16th October, to open your eyes to the simple truth that joy has always been within reach, hidden behind distraction. When you stay present, you also stop fearing the future. You understand that tomorrow will take care of itself if you take care of this moment. 16th of October whispers to you. Peace is not found by controlling what's coming, it's found by calming what's here. You don't need to predict, plan, or prepare for every possibility. You just need to be aware, grounded, and alive. The rest unfolds naturally. Each day is a doorway, but you can only walk through it if you are here. The moment you stop dwelling on what was or worrying about what will be, you start to see the miracles happening around you right now. The breath you take, the light that fills the room, the strength that still lives in you despite everything you've faced. 16th October is that doorway, quiet, simple, but powerful. It's the entrance into a life that is no longer defined by time, but by awareness. So when this day comes, let it be a reminder. Don't look back. Don't rush ahead. Be here. Let this moment be enough. Let this breath be full. 16th October is not about what's gone or what's coming. It's about the sacred power of now, the healing that begins when you stop running from yourself, the peace that appears when you stop resisting life, the freedom that blooms the moment you finally arrive where you have always belonged. Right here, in this breath, in this moment, in this life.